Happy Friday, everybody, and Labor Day weekend. We got our steel caster camber plates, which I'm working on installing now. A couple things I did have to go back through and clean up the holes here, because when the other ones, the aluminum ones, kind of collapsed or everything, it did kind of pinch these a little bit, so the plate wasn't riding smoothly in here. So now these are working fine. I did that on both sides and cleaned everything up, vacuumed up the shavings from the bit. And then one thing I noticed is when I was taking the tops off of the struts, I got these lower control arms like way too tight. This thing hardly wants to move at all, so sorry about that. Anyway, these lower control arms are torqued down way too much. They're hardly moving at all, so I'm going to loosen these up a little bit. I think I got some torque measurements from somebody online, but this is way too tight. The front end is it's not going to allow the front end to travel much, so I'm going to loosen these up a little bit before I go any further with installing the caster camber plates. But that is the update. We'll get these done. Kind of do I'll probably do a little update with how we do our homemade just do our in-garage front end alignment. So we'll go from there, guys, but that's the update. And here's the steel plates I got. These were 80 bucks a pair. The only thing I don't like about them is this bearing seems pretty tight. So I've been putting this, I took this off on the other one, put it over in the vise, and then put some PB Blaster in there, and then worked it around to loosen it up a little bit. Again, we want everything to move nice and freely. So weight-wise, the steel ones and the aluminum ones are within a couple ounces of each other, but I like the sturdiness of the steel plate. And again, you can see these were collapsing when you tighten them down and stuff. And then of course, it's not going to move around and get proper alignment. So anyway, I will keep you posted when we get a little further along. Thanks, everybody. Hope you have a great Labor Day weekend. Looks like we're getting a storm here in California, which is fairly rare. So we got a storm rolling in. Normally it's 100 degrees and we're swimming in the pool or down at the river or down in the Folsom Lake or Lake Natoma, but don't look like that's going to happen this year. Anyway, I'll probably still go jump in the pool as long as it's not thundering and lightning, because it is still pretty warm. I'm sweating out here in the garage already. Nonetheless, I'll get back to you when we get some of these things installed and go from there. Thank you. All right, everybody, got that knocked out. These are our preliminary settings, but these are the steel plates, and they were much easier to adjust. They moved around much more freely. And we got the tires on. The front runners are on. So the fender lip is at 25 degrees or 25 inches. And I figure it's going down the track at about 27 inches, so I'll jack it up at 27 inches, and then I'll check the camber there. We kind of want to set that at, see if we're pretty close to straight up and down, with the front end up a couple inches, as we're simulating we're under power going down the track. So right now they're, they're leaning in a little bit, but as the car lifts up, it'll straighten out. So I'll work on that in the morning and then see where we're at with play around with the toe adjustment. And the only other thing I do gotta fix this one headlight. The red wire came loose from out of the socket, so I do gotta fix that. And then I just got to I do have to re-secure the air intake hose. I clipped the zip ties holding the air hose in place so I could see what was going on with the wiring for the headlight there. So anyway, that's a couple zip ties. And when I jack it back up to check everything tomorrow, I'll do all that at the same time. So anyway, just little odds and ends, and yeah, we've got a proper set of drag slicks and front runners now. So that will be exciting. We'll see what it does. I did loosen up the lower control arms. They wouldn't even move at all. So I loosened them up till they fell under their own weight. And I may go back and snug them up a tiny bit more, but I just want to make sure that this, the front end is allowing the car to raise and transfer the weight to the back like it's supposed to. But anyway, here's a quick look. There you go. So we'll be out at the strip, and we're actually in exactly a week from tomorrow. So tomorrow's Friday, so we will be at the track, and we'll go from there. All right, guys, here we got the steel plates installed. Looking good so far. I'm liking it. I like the way they were adjusting, and slid around easily. So I put my caster camber dial on there and dialed it in with it up in the air, so at least they were equal. And to about, obviously before I took the old ones off, I measured where it was, and we're within half a degree of where it was when I took it apart. So we should be pretty darn close. But again, we'll finish up the little odds and ends tomorrow and go from there. All right, guys. Hope everybody has a great weekend. Take care.